Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Our Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm Melinda Haynes of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Today we are featuring two local festivals, one a longtime fixture and the other an up-and-comer that gains steam every year. In the second half of today's show, we'll meet Tenna Wenker and Susan Mendenhall from Arts United to hear all about this year's Taste of the Arts Festival. But first, I'm pleased to welcome Sarah Payne, who is here to tell us all about this year's Auburn Chord-Duesenberg Festival, which begins August 24th. It's coming up. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know, this festival, I think it has been around for, in my memory, forever. When did it start?
This is the 58th annual,
oh
so it has been
around. So it is older than me, thank goodness, or something.
Yes.
At 58 years, oh my goodness. You know, you have been involved with the organization for how long? Not 58 years.
No, actually, this is just my second festival.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you knew it all, had been there for many years.
I've been there as a guest for many, many years. I'm from Auburn originally and have always loved the festival. As a matter of fact, growing up in Auburn, we would volunteer and help with the festival even as a child. So I have definitely loved the festival for many, many years. But to be actually the executive director has just been, this will just be my second festival.
So how did you get involved with it? I mean, you grew up with it and went to it, then how did that transition into executive director?
Well, it's probably a great small town story, but suffice to say, I had event planning in my background and ended up getting a call of the festival board members asking if I'd be interested in this opportunity, and it was just something I couldn't turn down. You know, like I said, Auburn is in my heart, and so to have the opportunity to be so involved with the festival that I love so dearly was really a great joy for me.
So as the executive director, what does that mean? You do it all, right? I mean, but what are some of the things that really are the most important that you do?
Well, I do it all. It's kind of one of those things I think most people would be surprised to know. Obviously, it's a year-round planning process for a festival of this size, but I'm really a one-woman show a lot of the time. So as the festival nears, we get lots of volunteers, and our board of directors helps tremendously, but there's only one employee, actually, of the festival.
And that's you.
So
wow.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So do you actually find all the volunteers? You said your board is very helpful.
Yes.
So are there committees on the board that help do these, things?
Yeah, and there's obviously people from the community that have been helping for years. It's amazing to me last year being my first festival. So many things I stressed or worried over, our board would just say, don't worry about it. It would come together, and it absolutely did. The community really comes together and welcomes the guests. So even for a town as small as Auburn, to have a festival this large, it really does take everybody. Great collaboration. There's lots of organizations that are involved. We partner with the auction companies, the museums. There are non-for-profit organizations that have events during the festival, and so the festival can coordinate those, and we become the marketing and outreach arm of the whole event. But there's lots of organizations that make it happen.
Well, and I think most people know that the A in ACD stands for Auburn.
Yes.
But, tell me about the Chords and the Duesenbergs and how it started to become such a classic car festival.
It is. Auburn's Chords and Duesenbergs are all cars, and so this festival celebrates those cars, and they were really started by a reunion of Auburn Chord and Duesenberg owners came back to Auburn. There's an Auburn Chord-Duesenberg Club, and they have their annual reunion still in Auburn every year.
Were those cars made in Auburn? Or
yes,
in the
and they were, and they actually have a history all over Indiana because the Auburn Automotive automobile company was actually started in Auburn, and so they it was the nameplate behind all of those cars.
see.
Yeah, some are actually, the Duesenbergs were made in Connorsville, though,
Okay.
Indiana. So yeah.
Not very far away,
No,
but
that's
makes it why it's a kind of regional hub for all of those people to come back. Now, so this little group reunion
Yes.
started as the group of a few people, and somehow it grew.
That's exactly it. It's exactly it. It's ballooned over the years. Many times over, the festival has been really thoughtful in how to grow and expand the festival in ways to make it more appealing. And so, you know, it started off as a reunion, and then over time, a couple of guys said, well, why don't we have an auction? And so, you know, it said that the festival was the very first ever collector car auction. It happened in Auburn, and now, of course, there's 2 wonderful auctions that take place over Labor Day weekend. And so, you know, I think that it's really amazing to see how it's evolved over the years.
Well,
and
the
really,
parade is another huge part of it.
that's right. The Parade of Classics has been going on since the beginning, and that is simply Auburn's, Cords, and Duesenbergs only in the parade, and it's just beautiful to see. It's rolling art, really.
Those cars are amazing to look at. You don't see them very many places anymore,
right.
except in a museum, but to be able to see them driving down the road in Auburn is wonderful.
That's right. And, you know, amazingly, after the parade, they park around the courthouse square, so anybody can come right up and look at them, get a closer look, talk to the owners. It's really a fascinating way for people to really engage with history.
Well, and those owners love to talk about those cars. I mean, I know that when you see them parked there and the hoods are up and the trunks are up, and you can look in, and they have taken such special care of those engines, and you're like, how was that engine ever that clean? That's really something.
It is. It is.
And so, are there other events that have become a part of the festival? Tell me about those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things I think is a misconception about the festival is that it's all about the cars. And obviously we recognize the cars are the stars of the show. But there's all kinds of things for people to do, even if you aren't an automotive enthusiast or aren't one yet. It's a great time. There's live music, there's the Fort Wayne food trucks will be there with upgraded festival food. We've got live bands, like I mentioned, happening both Friday and Saturday night along with the food trucks. There's kids activities that are free, so that's a wonderful thing for parents to be able to bring their little automotive enthusiasts into Auburn and check out all of the things that we have going on. And then of course there's arts and crafts, and there's historic tours. There's lots to do and see.
I noticed on your website, it's not really just the weekend. There are things that start before the weekend, is kind of leading up to it.
That's right.
So what are those sorts of events?
Well, amazingly, we have things that actually start the weekend prior to Labor Day weekend. So we've got our garage cruise, which gives people a sneak peek into garages around Northeast Indiana that are really, really special, both with what they have as far as cars in the garage, but also collectibles that they have on display. And then we go into our Hoosier Tour, which is a rolling tour of 50 Auburns, Cords, and Duesenbergs. They travel all around the region as a promotional effort, so that's a really great event. And then things start rolling into museum and auction events happening Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah,
There's just so much going on.
There is.
So if you had to pick a favorite part of the festival, what would that be for you?
I would definitely pick the downtown cruise-in. It is absolutely a really must-see event. Not only is it a cruise-in that consists of over 600 cars.
600.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and it's more than just Auburn's, Cords, and Duesenbergs. I mean, it's hot rods and classics of all kinds. So it's a really, really cool thing to see. But it's also, like I said, you add in the live music, the food, there's beer tents, there's kids activities. I mean, there's all kinds of things to do. It truly is a party in the street in downtown Auburn. So it is something really to see. And most of those activities are all free to spectators. So it's a really wonderful.
And to see that those cars, I mean, and especially because downtown Auburn is classic in and of itself. The architecture, I mean, you really feel like you have walked back in time.
It really is. Auburn is such a charming community. So to welcome people with open arms and have them enjoy all that the festival has to offer is really, I think, we're very proud to do it for the festival, but obviously also for the town of Auburn.
Right. Now, you know, one of the things that I think is unique too is the posters that are designed every year.
Yes.
You know, tell me about this year's poster and kind of the history behind all of these.
Well, it also has a very rich history. We've been making a festival poster since 1981, and a local graphic designer, John Souter, creates the posters every year, and they are really, really world-renowned. Our collectors from all over the world have them in their homes and on their collectors lists. And John has given his time and talents to the festival for many, many years. And it's actually the club that picks those themes every year, and John comes up with the design. It's a surprise to the festival until it's revealed to us in January, and then we theme the whole festival off of it. So it's really a cool tradition.
Are they just a limited edition number that are printed, so they're, you know, that makes them the very collectible? And does he sign some of them?
He absolutely does. And you know, it's funny, some years are more collectible than others, which has been kind of a fun thing to see. Right. And you know, the history of them is just it's really fascinating.
You know, you were talking a little bit about you know, how there is a lot of, you know, it's friendly family and a lot of kids activities. What kind of things specifically are there for kids and families?
Well, thanks to a very generous sponsor, we've got a kids area that consists of bounce houses and slides and all car-related activities for kids, hands-on things for them to do. And then we also have a bingo contest for kids to be able to really engage in the Parade of Classics. So they can sit there and watch the parade and
mark them off
do their
when
bingo game as well.
That is fun.
So it is fun. We're really trying to create the automotive enthusiasts of the future.
And then you've got bands that are going to, can you tell me some of the bands who are performing?
Sure, we've got 3 bands performing on Friday and 3 bands performing on Saturday. The 3 on Friday are the Atomic Sharks, which is a Caribbean type family friendly band. We've got, then we go into Urban Legend, local favorite, and then Sugar Shot after that. And then on Saturday we have Joe Justice starting out the afternoon right after the Parade of Classics, so stay downtown, enjoy that. And we go into Influx, and then we end the night with Goodnight Gracie. So a lot of regional favorites that we think are going to be a great draw to the festival as well.
Oh, that's great. Now, if people want more information about the ACD Festival, where do they go?
Absolutely go to our website. It's acdfestival.org, so it's super simple, and you can find our full schedule of events, contact information, and any kind of registration information that you might need.
Great. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah. As we prepare for our next guest, please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our region. We'll be right back with Tenna Winker and Susan Mendenhall from Taste of the Arts. The 6th Annual Taste of the Arts Festival is Saturday, August 23rd. This event is Fort Wayne's finest arts and food festival and seems to grow by leaps and bounds each year. There are 10 performance stages, an art marketplace, hands-on activities, and more than 30 local restaurant vendors. These all come together to welcome tens of thousands of visitors who can explore local arts and food starting at 11 a.m. and going all the way until midnight. I am pleased to welcome Tenna Winker and Susan Mendenhall to Arts Weekly to learn more about this exciting and growing Fort Wayne Festival. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you know, I love this festival. This is just one of my favorites, and I think because I've seen it, you know, from the beginning, the very beginning, and watched it grow. So for the maybe a couple people who've not heard of Taste of the Arts before, tell me what it is.
Taste of the Arts is a showcase of many of the arts and cultural organizations and activities, individual artists and vendors, food vendors in our community. It really is a great day of diversity, of culture, of arts. We have performances, we have visual arts. Everything comes together on on the Day of Taste of the Arts.
So when it started, it didn't have the food, if I'm remembering correctly. At the very beginning, it was a lot of the arts and
It had
things.
food,
It did, but
the
it was
first
a minor
year,
part.
yeah, we had 5,000 people attend. We only had 3 or 4 stages that first year. So, and we used the same footprint we use now. So it seemed so much
that's something.
emptier, and things seemed further apart. And we still have room to grow,
Yeah.
but now it's with 10 stages and more artists and more food vendors. It's ballooned like crazy.
Well, and you know, it's such a nice showcase for Fort Wayne and all the arts organizations that are here. I mean, was that kind of the point of starting it, was to really showcase what we have to offer here?
That was the point. We closed down Main Street. We put up 10 stages. We have an area designated for individual artists to showcase their art. And a major goal of ours is to make sure that the community has the very best chance to see these arts organizations and these incredibly creative people in action. It's a totally free festival, so anybody from any walk of life can come. Last year we had between 25,000 and 30,000 people come.
Isn't that something?
It's a great day of community building in general.
How it has grown exponentially with visitors is really something to me. I mean, because the marketing that you do for it, I mean, what do you do to market it? I mean, I know the emails that I get, but you must be marketing to the region as well.
We do market to the region, and we've had some help from Visit Fort Wayne with that. Emily Design has donated their marketing every year, and we make sure that it's broad. So we do have billboards and TV and things like this, so that people across the whole community can find out. But we're really trying now to use social media more, like Twitter and Facebook and that kind of thing, to connect, you know, with people.
Well, because it's great to have those updates and to see and to go, oh yeah, that's coming up, can't wait. So, Tana, how did you get involved?
Well, I used to work at Arts United, and the former director gave me this assignment to create a signature event that would help people know what Arts United does, and that is bring all these groups together and help them with leadership and funding and you know, some other back office things like healthcare.
Right.
He wanted us to help the neighborhoods and everybody know what we do, but he also wanted us to help bring attention to the groups. So this hands-on component with the groups having booths of information and giving out their schedules is a key component, because people used to say, we don't know how to get involved, or we don't know what's in town. And this gives people a chance to find out firsthand whether they want to try ballroom or ballet or hip hop. They get a chance to talk to somebody who can help them participate.
So when it started, was it just the core Arts United organizations who were starting it, and it's kind of grown for other?
Well, Arts United exists to develop, coordinate, and support arts and cultural organizations and efforts in Northeast Indiana. So our mission is very broad, and traditionally the bulk of our support has gone to 12 principal partner organizations, although we have an arts council that's about 60 members. So there are almost 70 arts organizations in Northeast Indiana that Arts United serves every year, and this has always been a great opportunity for us to put those arts organizations on a very public pedestal and help the community get to see the rich variety of arts and cultural activities we have happening throughout the year.
That is just so true. I mean, you can't help but feel just overwhelmed by the sheer number and breadth and depth of the organizations and artists who are involved. You know, do you have some main supporters, you know, who help you with the festival in terms of venue and that sort of thing?
We do. We have a variety of partnerships that have really helped grow the festival. This year, the Downtown Improvement District is sponsoring Busker Square. And Busker Square is the name that we've given to Fryman Square, where we'll have about 47 arts organizations have hands-on activities at booths, but the DID has coordinated now 27 buskers to be around throughout the day. So there'll be street performers everywhere. It'll be so spontaneous. We'll have all different kinds of crazy activities just happening all the time. Can't miss it.
Well, it's just so lively down there. It's really something.
And the partnerships are what's part of this fun that's happening. You know, ArtLink is running the juried art fair. The Bar Street Market is running artists in their market. the NPR radio station is doing a live recording of their Meet the Music show. So we have all these different groups who come in and do a piece of it, and when it's all together, it's the biggest collaboration you can find, I swear, in town.
Oh, I'm sure that is true. Let me ask each of you, what is your favorite part of the festival? Susan?
Oh my gosh, I love seeing all of the cultural diversity that the festival brings together, from taiko drumming to the Amaneceres de Mexico, to the Mon dancers and the Burmese dancers. These are the types of artists that I think enliven so much of our community, and it's really great to see them all in one day.
Very rich. What about you?
Oh, I love it all.
Yeah.
I love seeing the kids trying to play a violin.
Right.
And I really love seeing the artists try to outdo each other in a little competition of who's got the best pottery this year, because they have a little, with the jury, they have some prizes to win for their artwork, so there's a little bit of that. And of course the food, it's all local restaurants, all local.
That's
and so
excellent.
you really get to sample. We have like 5 new ones. We have some that come every year. So if you really want to experiment and try a sample of this and that food-wise, it's all there.
And I think one of the most fabulous things is that this event is still free to the public. I mean, just to come down and enjoy everything. That must take a lot of work on sponsors' parts. Tell me about how you managed to still keep this free for attendance.
It's a lot of partnerships, a lot of wonderful people who, first of all, volunteer on the committee. We have an incredible community representative committee that makes this festival happen every year. A festival of this magnitude requires a lot of infrastructure. We have a number of sponsors who have helped make this possible, from Sweetwater to BAE Systems to Carson's and a number of others. We also rely on donations from individuals. This year PNC is matching donations, which is a great boost to the festival. It ensures that we're able to keep it free. The final aspect of the festival is we rely on income from food vendor sales.
I see.
So when you go to the festival, everything is free. If you'd like to partake in tasting some of the amazing restaurants that are there, you can buy tickets to taste the food.
But there's such a wide variety of things that's available in the food department. I mean, you walked in on those vendors, and it's almost like you have to take a pass through once or twice and go, okay, now what I'm going to do. But a lot of them are sample size too, so that you're not obligating yourself to just one or two things. It's truly a taste for the food things as well. And how many food vendors are there this year? Because that's really grown as well.
I think we're up to 28 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And there's still room for growth.
Yeah. So you've got the food vendors, you've got all these stages. Tell me about some of the groups that are going to be performing on these stages.
Well, we have 10 stages, and actually this year we ran into the very great issue of having more interest in performing than we had stages to fill. We have a really wonderful committee member who is managing all of that for us, and we are just so excited to have the Fort Wayne Civic Theater, ensembles from the Fort Wayne Philharmonic, Fort Wayne Youth Theater, taiko drummers. We have electronic musicians. Oh my gosh, if you name it,
They're hosting a breakdance showcase. And if you just picked a genre, say it's dance, there's classic dance like ballet, but there's hip hop and ballroom, and it's just so diverse. The same with the
ballet
music.
will be hosting an open house as well this year, so that's a new opportunity for people to get a behind the scenes look at what a ballet studio looks like.
Yeah, they could actually go in, but these stages are outside, correct? I mean, are they all around Fryman Square or different places, or where are they?
We use all of them. We use the Arts United Center stage.
Oh, so that's inside.
We use the Arts Lab new stage, so if many people haven't seen that yet, it just opened in January.
Right, that's a great
so we're
space.
using that new black box. We're using Museum of Art's auditorium and their atrium as a stage. We have outdoor stages as well, so we're using the buildings and outside. So if you wanted to go in and cool down and then go back out, no problem.
Right. That is a huge job to orchestrate all of those different organizations, but what a great opportunity to be able to just sort of sample them, to see what you might be interested in trying out for yourself, going to a show or getting involved in an organization like Fort Wayne Youth Theater or Fort Wayne Ballet, you know, the event is now going till midnight. I mean, that's sort of a newer aspect too. Didn't it used to just kind of be during the daylight hours?
Yeah, it was. Last year we polled our participants, and there's 650 people who actually participate that day, whether they're performing or volunteering. We asked them if they would go to 2 days. And we got a little pushback on that. They're not quite ready to go to 2 days. It's a lot of labor on their part. But we did agree to go longer and add more at night. So we added some more stages, we added more performances in the evening for those people who can't come during the day. So some of it shuts down at 7, like the booths, but the stages stay live.
The evening portion is called dessert, and one of the coolest parts of dessert this year is that Cinema Center will be doing a screening of The Sandlot.
Oh, great.
So you'll be able to go out, have an outdoor movie on the Arts United Center Plaza, right in the heart of the Arts campus, and watch a movie under the stars. We are so excited about that.
What a wonderful way to end the day. Now, if people want information, what's the best way for them to get that?
tasteoftheartsfortwayne.org.
Okay, and all the information is on your website about all of the different events and everything that's going on during the day.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, as usual. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Melinda.
I'm Melinda Haynes of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. On the next Arts Weekly, John O'Connell will be back to feature the upcoming theater season for several local organizations, including Fort Wayne Civic Theater, All for One Productions, First Presbyterian Theater, and Arena Dinner Theater. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and be sure to join us here Thursday evenings at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thank you for watching Arts Weekly.
Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Hour Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.